Mm. Good afternoon, ladies. How's everybody doing? Good afternoon, love bugs. I'm doing well. How are you, honey bun? Can you hear me pretty good? Hi, my love. Okay, so ladies, it's a few of us. Okay, good. I'm glad you can hear me. Thank you, sister. I just wanted to have a chat respectfully for us women, and we live in a world that's opinionated, so nobody's opinion states the fact for your life. But it's always good when we can be transparent one to another respectfully, just to help gauge and guide us in life. So I definitely want to talk about exes. Unless you are a virgin and you've never been in a relationship, we all are somebody's ex. We've dated someone, been with someone, slept with someone, moved on. The relationship didn't work out. But in the event that the relationship doesn't work out, uh, what are some do's and don'ts in dating somebody's ex? This is a major don't for me. This is my opinion overall, but it's a belief and a fact for me. When you break up with a guy, or a guy breaks up with you, y'all go separate ways. Even when you know you're about to break up and you know he's dating someone, communicating with someone, we as women have no business reaching out to our ex's potential partner, new person, new girlfriend, if he's married, wife, or if he has a child or children. We have no business reaching out to that other person once we're broken up, is specifically. We have no business, not just us, but just women in general. Women have no business reaching out to their ex's new partner. Now, this is what I feel. When a woman knows about a new person that he's potentially seeing, or he is actually seeing, that number one proves that she is snooping in his life. Period. That cannot, it shouldn't be argumentative, argued, but so much. She's looking in his life. She's looking for stuff, trying to find out information. When a relationship is over, it needs to be over. I don't understand why people hold on to exes. Now, when it pertains to people that have children, there's nothing there but co-parenting. So the respect and the space needs to be there for that. No problem. Now, another thing that I don't care for, I'm not a fan of, and I personally don't do, when people tie their financial life together with somebody else and they have, debt together or obligations together, and they don't sever those ties because it brings them in some sort of money, income, makes their life better. So they have an unconventional tie to their ex per money, work, and finances. But even in that, when they have that situation, that's all there is. It's work, it's money. It's not romantic. Now I saw some comments from a video I posted on the channel, the little short that I did, and there were people, a few people who had a little bit of a rebuttal. Tell me one reason that you would have, that a woman would have, to reach out to her ex's new girlfriend, new wife, new fiance. What reason would you have to converse with her about him and who he was and who you allowed him to be to you? I also want to say this while anybody else waits to chime in. Let me say something else I totally disagree on. People love to say, well, I would warn her, because he cheated on me. He was abusive to me. That's who you allowed him to be to you. We have to learn to be constructive with ourselves and give our own self constructive criticism. Not only a man, ladies, but anybody. Nobody does to us no more than what we allow them to do. And that's the fact of the matter. We contribute. There's a contribution that we give and abuse, physical, emotional, psychological, and even spiritual. Because most of the time when we recognize it, we dismiss it and we think that's not who they are. We give people too many passes, and that's life. So other things come from that. So we can't sit here and say, oh, I'm trying to warn her so she don't do him like she did me. Why is that your damn business? And I'm saying you in general, not you directly to y'all, but just, general speaking. Why is that your damn business to play super saver hole for the next woman? Because guess what? She may not dare tolerate him going out, talking to somebody else, having sex with somebody else, putting his hands on her, or anything else of that matter. Stay in your lane. An ex is an ex. I don't understand how people know so much of their ex's life without being in communication and not still screwing around with that person. That's too damn suspicious to me. And when people are over or done with their exes, then guess what? They move on, whether they have somebody else or not. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that women linger in their ex's life more than men linger in, a woman's life, because I think it's fair and safe to say that each party has done it as far as gender, men and women. But just us as women, I just wanted us to chat a little bit about why. Why would a person want to tell the next new person about their ex and their relationship, what they had? What is that supposed to change? What is that supposed to mean? Because it's absolutely nothing. It's senseless. It makes you look as if, number one, you're not over that person. Number two, that you contributed all the, domino effect of the relationship. Number three, it makes you look like you are trying to block that person from not only having a life with somebody else, but just having a good life in general without you. It makes you look desperate. It makes the woman look pathetic. It makes her look clingy, and it makes her look pitiful. Why do women not recognize that? Now, I see we got 53 people in here and 19 likes. Y'all don't have anything to say? Y'all don't have thoughts on that? Y'all don't have an opinion on that? I'm just asking. This is just my opinion. I agree with that. Nobody else want to state their stance on it? Because this is just from my perspective, how I view it. I don't understand a woman that's an ex, or maybe even a soon to be ex or something like that. That's speaking on the terms of for men that are married and going through a divorce. Why would you want to tell the next woman don't date him? Why would you want to tell the next woman don't sleep with him? Why would you want to tell the next woman don't interact with him? That's not your business. And I'm more than likely certain that God did not assign that woman to you. That's not your business. Why do you want to tell her about all his family business and indiscretions if he has other children who the children's mom are with? Why? Why do women do tacky mess like that? It's tacky as hell. It's tacky and pitiful / pathetic as hell. Why? Anybody else have any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Any other opinions? Because if not, I'm going to make the assumption that we all are on the same type of, vibe of an ex is an ex. And my ex, when I break up, I don't have anything to do with who he starts dating, who he starts sleeping with. I don't have anything to do with it. If he marries somebody else, if we have children, as long as my child or children are good in their presence, they good with me. That's it. Hold on, let me read these comments. I see some. Yep. I think there are a lot. I think women are very mentally disturbed when they go digging and looking to see who a man that they used to be with is seeing. It's one thing to go look, y'all. We all spy. We can all be honest and say that. We all go look to see. Let me see who she is. Let me see what she look like. You know, but that reaching out and then when they take it a step further, creating fake accounts, trolling people on YouTube, emailing people, text messaging people, going to people's job, getting their family and friends involved. So that's a lot of disturbance. Do you not agree? That's a very disturbed person. You doing all of that for an ex? Now, if you want the ex back, you need to tell him that, not the woman. You need to tell him. Don't try to discourage her. Something is off with a person like that. If a man does it, I think his ass is off as well. A woman does it, she off as hell. She's disturbed. She is dysfunctional. Let me see what else y'all saying. When it comes down to people having children together, we have to learn, and that's something that I'm learning. And I'll be transparent with that. I date guys that have kids, and I like to take time to recognize his relationship not only with the child or the children, but with the child's mother. So I can kind of measure. I don't want to say judge, but I do, a little bit of judgment in there, like, why you do this? Why you gotta do that? Why you doing so much? I try to take note to see the relationship, not just with him and the child, but him and the child's mom or mother, because that tells me if he is still into her, if he still has unresolved feelings, and if so, I don't need to be in the way. I don't need to be in the way. So I'm saying that because I've dated guys that have children, and dating, just so we clear, because people nowadays don't know what dating is. People think because you date, you're screwing. Dating is going out, interacting, experiencing a little life, making experiences. So that's what dating is. At least that's my form of dating. Having sex is something different. Having sex and dating are two different things to me, and my eyes, and my belief, and in my experience. So I like to put a little definition on it, because sometimes people think dating means you're in a relationship. They think dating means you're having sex with a person. No, dating is dating. Yep, but if a man has a child or children, and I have moved out the way in about 3-4 relationships in the last 2 years, to be honest with you, because the guys seem to have an emotional connection. I'm not going to say attachment, but an emotional connection or vulnerability to a woman that he has a child with. And I told y'all a few months ago about a guy I was seeing. I'm trying to find somebody, that I can, of course, be in a relationship and maybe work towards a marriage. But at 45, yeah, I want to have sex. Duh. So yeah, he and I had been conversing for a while. And the day I'm deciding to give him some without him knowing, the mother of his child wanted him to do a favor with moving a bed. And it wasn't the fact that he couldn't help her move the bed, but it was when he called, she's at the drop of the dime. She a single woman just like I'm a single woman. She need to find her a man, or where her daddy at, where her brother at. Then the neighbor, she's already talking to the neighbor. The neighbor do favors. Why does he have to be available for her beckon and call? So I moved out the way, because I just feel like it could be more there. And I think people have a problem saying that. I have no problem saying it. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, ladies. I'm going to be a little bit more transparent about me as a woman. I don't really know why I'm like this. I've been told this most of my life, to be honest with you. But I don't catch feelings easily. Because it takes time for you to learn a person. And what I have learned just in my, middle age, me being in my 40s, You have to take time to learn people, because what you think you know of a man is not really him, and you have to learn who he is to you. Who he is to you is not who he may be to somebody else, whether that be bad or good or anything in between. But I've been told all my life that I cut people off fast. I don't give second chances, and I don't show affection, which is true. Now, I went to counseling for that affectionate part, because that came from me growing up, a certain type of way, which is a little abusive, a little rough. But I was in counseling to learn how to be affectionate as a woman, as a mother. Sometimes I do kind of waffle in my mind if I should go back to counseling to learn how to be affectionate, to my companion. But I just said, hell, I'm going to wait until I get the real companion and just ask him, like, what do you like or what do you don't like? But so I don't have that problem with cutting men off. I'm be honest with you, I really don't. I had some stuff delivered today, and the man was looking good. He was looking good. Girl, I'm going to tell you right now, I was flirting so hard in that house with that man, and he was just smiling, skinning, and grinning. But he didn't answer my phone number. So I just left it alone. I said, well, he must be got a girlfriend. I didn't see a wedding band, but he could be mad. So he didn't take the bait. And I was trying to bait that ass, honey. You hear me? Yes, I was. But yeah. So I don't have a problem cutting a man off, whether he has a child or children. And I guess I'm like that because I don't catch feelings easily. And I'm just gonna say honestly, I don't really know why I'm like that, but I just am. I mean, I do want to feel something with a person, you know what I'm saying? But I don't typically get that far. But honey, I was trying to get that man today. Oh my God. Nosha was laughing at me. I was like, Nosha, this is your new stepdaddy right here, baby. Here come Chloe Papa right here. This man looks so damn good. I had to FaceTime her. This man look good. Mm-hmm. And I love flirting. I love it. I love it. I love flirting as a single woman. So imagine, me being so caught up. I'm just using myself for an example for easier purposes. Imagine me having an ex. I'm so stuck on who he's sleeping with, who's seeing him. How the hell I'm gonna flirt with somebody? How I'm gonna flirt with somebody? How I'm gonna get me some vitamin D? Huh? How I'm gonna get some vitamin D? How I'm gonna get me a free meal? Huh? Like the walk, the nature trail I went on with somebody. How would I experience those things? How can we experience life with somebody else if we're broken up with someone and stuck right there in that place? I don't believe in that. I feel as if that's an injustice to me. I'm gonna tell you something else, ladies, and we'll discuss this later, another time. When your ex will use people to try to hold you up and make you wait. Now, I'm supposed to do a message for one of y'all about that because that came out yesterday. But, men will do that for them to play around, have a good time, and elter shelf you. Hell no, elter shelf your mammy. I'm out here too, single like a mofo, single and mingling. Honey, I get that vitamin D from the sun, but I want to get some vitamin D from somebody else's sun. SON, honey. Yes, ma'am. I definitely, yeah. So I'm just saying, when women try to reach out and say, in general speaking, ladies, when women interact with other women trying to discourage them from dating, getting involved with their ex, it's not their business. It's not their place. There's something there. And there's something there with her. There may be something there with him as well, but you cannot dismiss the fact that there's something there with her. Her. My first thing would be, okay, you still want this dick. You still want this man. He was good. I might not say it, but I still would think that. And ladies, let's bring this into the chat as well in closing. When women will reach out to you and they're not direct about who they are to a man that they think, know, or highly suspicious of you being with, around, or involved with, when they dodge these questions like, do y'all go together? Are y'all in a relationship? Do y'all live together? Are y'all married? Do y'all have any children? What is the magnitude? What is the nature of your relationship with him? When they dodge that question, or they're not straightforward saying, I'm his girlfriend, I'm the mother of his child or children, I'm his fiance, I'm his wife, I'm his estranged girlfriend, or I'm somebody he messed with over here. When they can't say that, first of all, I know they own shit. And I hope y'all know that too. Now, if y'all believe that, drop some hearts to that one statement. When women do that, it's them. They're on shit. People always want us to look at the men and blame everything on the man. But some things they got to be held accountable as well. But at the same time, they cannot be held accountable for the tacky actions of the woman. Whether she's an ex, a strange ex, a girlfriend, a mistress, a side piece, a side hoe, pole hole, broke hole, rich hole. If she's in the number with him, he cannot be held accountable for her tacky actions. What he can and should be held accountable for is lying to you about it and not telling you about her. Girl, we don't need no podcast, y'all. I don't think I'm professional enough for that. I'm just gonna be honest. And I don't want to do all that fake talk. I like to keep it real and simple. So don't dismiss those signs. Do not dismiss those signs. And let me tell you something about heartbreak that I have experienced. Now, heartbreak I've only experienced one time in life. And to be honest with y'all ladies, I thank God that it's only been one time, because heartbreak is a process to get over. And if there are disturbances during your process of healing or trying to heal, I think it really prolongs, necessary healing to the mind, the spirit, and maybe even to your body. But we have to really work on being healed and whole as a woman to be able to interact with any man on any level. And we just do. Let me meditate on that podcast. And we don't need to be fake about who we are as a woman to ourselves and who we desire to be as a woman to a man. We don't need to be fake about that. And we don't need to have people trying to fake or psych us out. Do y'all have any other questions, statements, or comments? I was hoping that some of the ladies that had like a little rebuttal about what I said with the women not reaching out to new partners, I was hoping they would be in the live and be willing to communicate with us, to state their stance on things, because I'm not trying to save anybody. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm in a selfish season for the rest of my life, but I've always been this type of woman, and I've always been this type of girl. My daddy always taught me to save your damn self, because when you're trying to save somebody else, you likely gonna cause your own self to die. Now, I've had a near-death experience because of other people, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I hope God came out, I'll never do that again. Yep, those relationships take a little time to heal. Yep. You're welcome, love bug. And ladies, I just want to say this right here. A lot of things have been on my heart lately, and I really don't know why, but they've just been on my heart. But when it comes to relationship, life is about choices. You're never gonna know what you get unless you try it. Every woman has standards. Your standards may not be my standards. My standards may not be your standards, but we have them. And those are also safety mechanisms for ourselves. you have to use them. You will know when to drop your guard. Dropping your guard does not mean that you drop your standard. You will know when you're compromising. You will know when you're settling. I think because there's so much out here in today's society, people making opinions seem factual and believable, that we dismiss, that's not what I believe in. That's not what I want. So be who you are. And even for those of you all, if you're in that season of being harassed, or it's something between you and somebody else, and that whole third party, you got to learn to communicate. And if the man refuses to communicate, he's hiding something. He's hiding something that he has lied about. And you're just going to have to make a choice to either deal with it or not. You're going to have to make a choice to deal with it or not. I'm not going to say third parties are a natural or normal part of life, but third parties are life. It just is what it is. If you find yourself in them, you would have to make a choice for you. You can't ever choose for somebody else. You cannot choose for somebody else. So, and there is a time, a place that we will all need to share or tell a certain portion of our testimony, or maybe all of it, that will liberate another woman. But I don't think it's for us to call, text, email, have our friends, family members, colleagues, people we're in societies with, groups, organizations. I don't think that it's for us to use that type of method to try to manipulate someone, to defame somebody's character, whether it's right or wrong. What defaming is, defamation is saying that it's not really them, but to badmouth somebody. Life is going to teach us what we don't allow others. So when people have relationships, that person is meant to teach someone something, as well as them teaching them something. Let me tell you one more thing on why we should not dabble or meddle in our ex's relationship. That woman that he got, that new woman, she could be just as treacherous and trifling and low down as him. She could be just as trifling as him. And it's time for him to get back who he is. See, the Lord has a sense of humor. And God has a way that he's going to show all of us who we are. And he always sends somebody in our life that's just like us. And we're going to have some form of a relationship with them. So you never have to worry about saving another person, because that person that you think is so sweet, so innocent, so well put together, she is sent to his life to tear his ass apart. She not only gonna break his heart sometime, but bust his heart. She gonna break them pockets, break his reputation. She gonna break that ego. She gonna break him down if that's who she's meant to be. So your quote unquote advice, recommendations for her ain't gonna mean shit. So you don't need to run around trying to play super save a hole for the next person. Save yourself. Every man or woman has to stand on their own tub. You got to stand on your own 2 feet, baby. Ladies, I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to come back and read through the comments a little later on. Just remember, life is definitely full of lemons. But if you have some water, add to it. You got some sugar, make it sweet or flavorful to your taste. You want to get fancy, add some mango, maybe some lemon or some strawberries. But create the taste that you have an acquired taste for. Peace and blessings. Great day. I hope this has been helpful. I just want to say something to all the women that troll me personally. You, your families, your friends. I want to say something to you all that are women. And y'all know who y'all are. If you took that energy that you used to troll me and try to defame me, just imagine if you took that energy and applied it to your life in a positive way. Just think about where your life could be. If you took that energy and applied it to your child or your children, just think about where your relationship would be with that child or children if it was not focused on me. If you took that energy as a mother to an adult child or children, just think about how genuine your relationship could be with your child or children versus trolling me. Just think about how far ahead you could be. I believe the Lord has something for you, but I've never agreed that He has meant for you to be a devil to me. It's who you made a choice to be. Over a bunch of lies, as we all know by now. But at the same time, you made a choice out of ignorance. Not out of ignorance because he lied, but out of ignorance because you lied. You are a liar. I want to speak to all the women and men, especially those of you all that are Masons and Eastern Stars, that thought I didn't know things about you or I didn't know who you all are. Where has it gotten you? Where has it gotten you? Where? I want to speak to all the parents of the adult children. I'm not going to say grown because they're not grown. He definitely ain't grown. But to the adult children, where has it gotten you? You're spectators. You play holier than thou in front of certain people, but you come on this internet with me and troll me. The things that you all have done that I have proof of, and even the things that I haven't gotten proof of, but I know that you all have done and been behind. What did it add to your life? Trolling a relationship that I'm not even in or a part of and have not been. It'll be 6 years, December the 8th of this year. What has it gotten you? How do you truly feel about yourself? As a woman, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel when you look in the mirror? Let me tell you how you should feel. You should feel like the piece of shit that you are because you made a choice to be and become that. You should feel simple-minded because it's who you are. You should feel dysfunctional because it's who you are. You should be disturbed because it's who you are. And it's all because it's what you made a choice to be. Peace and blessings, great day, my ladybugs. I hope y'all have a good day or having a great Wednesday. Namaste.